Welcome back, guys. So again, this is part 2 of our roller coaster insider tour. We are now heading over towards Cheetah Hunt and Cobra's Curse. Meerkats.
Meerkat. You can see the giraffes out on our Serengeti. Sure, out. Should be some zebra out there. Oh, there's a zebra. Yeah, he's staring right at us.
It's beer 30. That zebra. No, that zebra's looking at us. Oh, that zebra's looking at us like, you got a problem?
With my food.
Yeah.
Food don't bring me no food. I remember you.
So we're almost over to the maintenance barn area for Cheetah Hunt. Work walls. And now we're over here at Cheetah Hunt.
Over here at Cheetah. So we're going to get so everyone can go grab a bottle of water when we go in. Just like Sheikra, we have to walk out because we're going to be going into one specific area. So they can hold this up to the panel. We'll all walk out and we're going to go into the launch tube first. And then we'll finish up in the maintenance bar, okay? All right, so everybody can follow Alex playing up.
Agua. You're live. Yeah.
There's only a couple thousand people.
Yeah.
Okay, you know it. Somebody was filming, they didn't say it was live. Okay.
Thank you. So here we are in the queue for Cheetah Hunt. I have spent many, many, many hours in this queue, or at least in this station. Far too many.
to go up and upstairs.
Yep. So in order to get to the panel, you have to go up these stairs and over the first launch area. And into the panel we go. You're good.
Okay, cool. So this is Cheetah Hunt's panel.
Looks like we're hiring for tigers.
Just like Sheikah, we're gonna walk out. We're gonna walk on this panel.
So here's the
Remember
panel.
his numbers and all that stuff for you, okay?
So here's a fun fact on this one. We have 1,244,632 dispatches. When I was on the ride, I dispatched train number 1,000, number 999 and 1,000. So that tells you just how many trains they've dispatched since then.
Team?
Thank you.
No problem.
2 beer wait time for this one.
Excuse me. Thank you. Excuse me.
Daniel, you just keep acquiring more things.
I know. Not trying to. It happens apparently.
You need Lauren just to carry yourself.
Well, that's what these two yoo-hoos were supposed to be doing, but
What? I don't see them carrying anything.
yeah, exactly. Bob has been in several of our videos, and right now he's deciding to not help. I'm just kidding.
Not being a team player today?
Yeah, I'm not a team player, Bob.
From the other side.
So again, here we are in the first launch area for Cheetah Hunt. Some of the LSM motors right there. And the launch track. So we have some of the proximity switches and drive tires. Now, what's kind of interesting with this is for the train, whenever you have two train operation or two station operation, train will launch, the other one will come up and park for about roughly 35 seconds, 30 seconds or so. And right after the train clears going over the top of the skyride, it enables one of the proximity switches, and then the next one it relays is when it finally gets on the block brake right after the heartline roll. And then this train launches. So that's when the second train then disengages the tires right there, and it rolls forward slowly and then launch. I wish we could launch it right now. So I think it needs to be mandatory that we have rollbacks offered on this. We should have a rollback off of launch too.
Yeah. Part of the tour?
Yeah. Hey, Raina, we're doing rollbacks, right? We're going to get on the train and do a rollback?
Do rollback?
Yeah? Please.
That would be the upgraded tour, right?
Hey,
How much did that go for?
hey, at least to put it in boost mode. At least put boost mode or something.
How fast does boost mode make launch to?
It gives it about 5 mile an hour. Extra oomph. So,
Extra ejector air time?
yeah, it's usually about 3 to 5 miles an hour.
Light train, extra oomph.
I actually had a chance back when Cheetah Hunt was first opening and testing and all that. I got on a train and it faulted during launch too. So we had the rollback. We had the rollback, and then we had the relaunch and launch 2. And the launch and launch 2 is always better. Thank you. From the stop,
Oh yeah.
because you don't have the inertia.
Yeah.
The only place that I don't have a relaunch from, I believe, is launch 3.
Okay.
We did have a rollback one time on launch 1. You remember how we were watching the testing way back when? Just like that. That's what it did.
Went up.
Yep, went up and roll back.
Right before we got on top, did roll back?
Yeah. Next year had a roll back,
Yeah,
but they made everyone get out.
yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. Welcome. So again, we're now going into launch 2, which is right underneath the figure 8 tower. And you're about to get a really good look at that tower coming up in just a second. So here's the launch area. And ta-da! Yep, you're actually going in the launch.
Yeah.
One of my favorite views, to be honest.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Alright, Leighton is grabbing the keys real quick. You're going to be going inside and down to the steps on the launch. It's rocks and it's uneven, so you need to be careful on what you step when you go inside.
So for those of you guys not know, back in the days we used to have monorail. This is where Cheetah Hunt used to be. The monorail used to be like in Cheetah Hunt area, and then also doing Hollow Screen. That used to be one of our houses also before Cheetah Hunt existed.
Cheetah Hunt opened in 2011.
Everybody needs to go in, please watch your step. The ground looks even, but it's got a couple hills and
Wait, what? No.
So again, you're right next to this bad boy. That is why you do these roller coaster insider tours, because you literally get to be up close and personal. I mean, literally, touching track. It's pretty awesome.
Right now, yes. Hopefully, it's not going to be my girl is ready to go. This is the last one right now.
I know what they're like.
So this is the beginning of launch 2 right here.
Far out of space. Oh my goodness. We're going to move down a little more towards Alex. Now we have space.
We have phone that takes the feedback to the content over and oh, wait, this guy is What?
You want me to talk about
I
it?
mean, you want to start with Peter? You can start talking.
All right, everybody. Welcome down to Launch 2, Trench 1 of Cheetah Hunt. These white boxes you see, the long rectangular boxes, those are what we call stators. They are the magnets that actually launch the coaster. Between some of the white boxes, like right here, you'll notice like a smaller white box. Those are actually photo eye sensors. They tell us how fast the coaster is going as it goes past because the light stops. So when it notices the light stops, we know the coaster is there. I know you guys probably talked about proximity switches already at SheiKra. We'll skip over that, especially since we don't have the good ones. Oh, there's some right there? We have a couple down at that end, but for the most part, once it gets to here, it's just the photo sensors.
Cooling
The
system.
darker rectangles you see right there are our braking system. Those are magnetic brakes. They are a non-ferrous material as opposed to a ferrous material, which is magnetic. They are non-magnetic. And as the coaster passes over them, it will create something called an eddy field or an eddy current. If you've ever dropped a magnet down a copper tube or something like that, you'll notice it takes a very long time to get out of the bottom, longer than it should take. That is an eddy current or an eddy field. It just slows down something that is magnetic. So ours are mostly made out of copper, I believe. A little bit past that, you'll notice we have two kicker tires. The kicker tires are our physical braking system as opposed to our magnetic braking system. Once the coaster comes to a complete stop on top of them, they hold it there. So if we were to come to a stop down here for any reason and we had to come get you, the kicker tires would engage in the bottom and hold you in place so you don't roll around while we're taking you off. What else we got down here?
Coolant.
Cheetah Hunt is a triple launch coaster. It's going to launch you out of the station at about 30 miles an hour. It's going to bring you around. Once it hits these, this is going to be the fastest launch of the ride, up to 60 miles an hour. So your third launch, for those of you familiar with the park, is over in the old Rhino Rally area. That's going to be about a 40-mile-an-hour launch. So if this were to not get enough power to make it all the way up to the launch, it is possible to roll back. Once it rolls back, the brakes are going to come up and it's going to slow you down and bring you back here to the kicker tires. They can actually relaunch you from the position and just relaunch you right up.
A normal launch for us is about 40 to 60% of full power for these stators. We do not launch at 100% ever. 100% would shoot you right over to SheiKra. There is plenty of power here to do a relaunch if we ever were to need to.
Yeah.
So obviously you have a lot of power. How do you keep it cool?
How do we keep it cool? If you'll notice, they're hard to see on this set, but as we go back that way, running to each one of these white stators is a black or blue narrow tube. Through that is glycol, and the glycol all runs up to each stator and through these black pipes, and eventually it gets up to right under launch 1. There is a cooling plant for launch 1 and launch 2. They're combined, and it cools each stator individually. We have right here, you'll notice there's like a little, almost like a fish tank thermostat right there. That is actually a low-tech way of tracking each stator. The computer monitors every stator individually, but if they're ever down here just looking for a warm stator, they can just kind of glance at that real quickly and tell which one it is for sure.
There's over 100 stators on this ride, somewhere probably closer to 150. They are very expensive. So there's coils inside each stator, and if they burn up, probably 15 to 20,000 per stator to replace. So they're very expensive.
Why we have too many, so that way we can run without one if we need to.
Yeah. So they have 3 different types of brakes on these. You can see the coil springs. They have brakes that way that have a notch in them, and they're actually going to fold down. So when the train goes over, the notch is actually engaged and the brakes are going to fold down. They have stationary brakes, and then they have brakes on the springs that can go up and down. So they have 3 different types of brakes on this. This one is strictly magnetic brakes, whereas SheiKra was a mixture of friction and magnetic brakes. So magnetic brakes are meant to slow down the ride. They don't fully engage it and stop it, which is where their kicker tires come in. Our kicker tires are solely just to move you from one position to the other. Theirs actually engage in stopping the ride.
Normally on a hotter day, we would be able to touch the glycol pipes and they would be wet. They would be sweating with condensation. It gets very wet down here in this trench in general, but because it's nice and cool today, everything is dry. That's about it. Look at down here. You guys ready to go to the barn?
Woo!
Yeah? All right.
So kind of a fun fact for you guys when it comes to Cheetah Hunt, when we were doing tests and whatnot, originally those brake fins that were down over there would come down. So they're in the up position right now, and that's to slow down the train to actually give it a little bit more of an oomph for the launch. But when Intamin was doing their different design and testing and whatnot, they were playing around. So the brake fins on that one were down. It was going a little bit quick through the area, and they were like, well, let's make the launch a little bit more intense. So they put the brake fins up, cause a little bit of resistance, and then the stators kick in, and you go bye-bye.
Anybody wants to, these are the glycol tubes.
Yep.
They're not cold today.
Yeah, so the coolant tubes that they were talking about right here. And this is how they keep everything nice and cool. But stators do go bad from time to time, like within the last month, possibly. Not saying anything rumored wise, but yeah. But yeah, see, like what they were saying. There's the low-tech way.
You listen right here, you can actually hear the
Yep.
glycol running through the pipes.
Delicious. You guys hear that?
These right here are the brake fins she was talking about that fold down into the track, but not just so that there's not a funky corner sticking up that slows the train still.
Yeah, the launch system on this is really
Everybody remember this is really great theory.
these brake fins is actually the best. And then if we have a rollback, these will slow you down as you go back.
So get that camera in that track, man. Get in there. Not on the outside. You can get right up in there, man. Make it look like you're on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
So you take advantage of this tour. You're not going to get another chance to do this kind of stuff for at least for a while unless you got the money. But see, this is exactly why you do this tour, ladies and gentlemen. You get a chance to do stuff like this. Not a normal day occurrence, and it's really kind of cool.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. See, and look at this. That's the shot that you get right there.
That's pretty nice.
See? Nice stuff.
Yes, they did locate.
Oh, did they?
Yes, let's unlock
He's been
this.
around for
Yeah, you guys are close, time-wise.
Okay, we're gonna take our locks off first, then we can do the bottom.
Unlock first before it goes to
So again, park is going to be opening up very, very shortly, and they want to make sure operations are not affected by the tour. So we have to go back towards the panel. Our little keys right here have to go back on the lotto system, lockout, tag out. And then they can get the ride up and running testing-wise, because we do open at 10 a.m. here for Busch Gardens. But our tour is not done. We still have to go to the maintenance barn for Cheetah, which is right there. We'll be back in just a second, if I don't break the phone. Thank you.
Yeah, no, things in your hands.
Believe it or not, it all came into use too. Yeah. Cheetah! So again, we're doing our return of the keys and our lockouts, and then we're going to be moving on to the maintenance barn. How you feeling, Raina? First tour, doing okay?
Good, yeah.
Yeah? See, you're doing good.
Really well.
You're doing good. It's very easy, very simple.
Very easy. It all comes back.
So we used to have Norman, who did a lot of the Coaster Insider tours here, and Norman has since moved on. He is still with the company, but he's moved on, and Raina is taking over. So if you're going to be doing the Roller Coaster Insider tour, you're probably going to have her.
Come see me.
Yes.
One. Thank you.
I think I was the first one that was on there. Or
14. 14. It's right here. Yeah.
Thank you. You have a trash can by chance? Okay, thank you.
I may have.
All right.
All right, guys.
Time to
we're gonna
vamos.
follow Alex down to the maintenance barn.
Just go up and around the stairs for me. We'll fall for me, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can get a good view of the cheetahs up there too.
They're more active in the morning.
Yeah, they're definitely out.
It's funny, when you did this tour, you didn't think you'd be doing an exercise program. Right?
I mean, we can go walk up Cheetah.
I mean, we've done a lot of walking as it is. Like, this is a big park.
You don't think it's a big part, but it's
No.
actually a really big part. You guys want to head back to the same door we just entered through? To the left, to the left. That is nice.
Cheetah Rock. And now we're just about in the maintenance barn for Cheetah. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It should be coming out shortly. No, actually, they just put this one off from annual maintenance. We actually just added the one back on. I know Lady was saying magnetics and how it's dated and stuff like that. So how our magnetics, I'm just putting all underneath the track. I mean, the frame. So that's how the magnetics are dated.
this track here where they can switch the tracks and they can back it in.
So that switch track they're talking about is right here. See the difference in the track here? So that right there, that's the difference where the switch track is. So they have the train where it comes over here. They have an electrical winch. So they have an electrical winch right here, which physically lifts the train up and then moves it down.
So they actually have a money transfer track between that. So they can move the train up, they can back it up, and they can move it. They can do the actual whole body, they also have this
I couldn't tell you what's going on. I think that's actually because the microphone's hitting my beard. Hopefully that audio is a little bit better. My apologies. Let's see, we have the transfer tracks over here. So as far as riding Cheetah Hunt, we're not riding it right now. And Cheetah Hunt's going right now, actually. We could hear it do the launch. So Cheetah Hunt just launched. Now it's going to be going through the figure 8 element. And just about down and diving down now. We should be coming out of that and into the area where it goes over the sky ride just any second. There it goes. So early morning test for Cheetah going on here. We can see the maintenance barn. It goes all the way down as well. Neat though. You can literally be right here, touching the track as the ride's running. So, other train just launched. Just went up into the tree area. Other train is now going to be coming back from launch 3. And very shortly here, going to be going up through this little turn.
Testing launch 3.
Yep, so they're saying testing launch 3, so it's going through right now. See, this is also one thing I want to show you. So proximity switch. So whenever the train is over like this, that's what shows the contact. And then see, there's the train.
Wait for.
But see, that's the proximity switch. So this right here, whenever a train goes directly over the top of it, it senses just how close the train is. So and then tells the computer where everything is and goes on from there.
You can scan what you see if you don't have to, right?
We get a lot of pushback for it, but there's always a law. Cheetah, we actually have a wheel, and the foam got caught in the wheel, and it melted into the wheel.
See, and they have the pen. Take that pen, and that releases the track here.
And it ran all not that anything's going to happen, but that's why we asked you guys. And this could be as sensitive as, like, I know at Sheikra, a squirrel. So
So remember what we were talking about, proximity switches? So you can see one of the proximity switches right there, and it's illuminated because that means there's physically something right there. And there is. But again, you get up close, extremely personal with these trains and coasters during the Coaster Insider Tour. This is one of the trains here that is getting redone or worked on. Little bogies right there that go on the rail. So again, proximity switches right here. Drive tire, and that's what physically moves, isn't it? All the way down.
Okay.
You show them the magnet holders. The magnet holders. Yeah, whenever no, the blocks. No. The blocks that are on the ground over here, off to the side behind the train.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I didn't know if you guys showed it.
Yeah, they're in waiting because this train is being torn apart for its annual maintenance, so any day now those magnets will come off and get put in there. I've been told that if the magnets ever actually touch, we'll never get them apart again in destruction.
It would be extremely tough, from
Yeah,
what I've been
exactly.
from what I've been told.
Yeah.
So, they had a situation.
And another one.
Yeah.
I believe it. I've also been told that the magnets on these trains will accidentally take wrenches and flashlights right out of people's
Yeah,
hands.
absolutely. Yep. Magnets are that powerful.
So if you put a flashlight up to that magnet, it will rip it out?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, it'll rip the flashlight out of your hand. Yeah. So yeah, really cool look at the Cheetah Hunt trains. Again, some of the wheels just sitting on the ground right now. So train 1 is the good train that we had. Train 3 was the one that always gave us issues, or at least when I was working. Train 3 was always the mischievous one. What was that? It's a cleaner. So it's a cleaner, but it's also a couple different things. This is actually used for static. So it removes static from the track. So as it's going throughout and whatnot, so if something happens, but that's what that is. So, but ask them also. They probably have a little more clarification, but that's what that is. Removes debris and make sure nothing gets shocked.
I know Cobra, they do half maintenance, but full annual maintenance is sometimes you just
All right, does anybody have any last minute questions before we head over?
So just like anything else, our coasters will generate some static electricity, like when you shuffle your people on carpet. That is just a little strip back there to let it discharge it without creating too many sparks, because sparks scare people. That is the only, anybody who sees a spark on a coaster assumes the wheel has locked up and they're immediately terrified to report it and we have to shut it down and investigate. That helps us discharge our static electricity without a visible spark most of the time.
Yep. And it cleans it just a little bit too.
In there are magnets, right? Like I said, it's same thing, used breaking, used for...
Yeah, if you have a look down this end, you can actually see there's a little prop.
Just keep it in your pocket. No.
Well, what's funny is this right here is, if this is from the company that I think it is, that's Ralph S. Alberts. They're the ones that do the molds for the trains, like the harnesses and whatnot. So I bet you that's new harnesses. But any of the molds and stuff like that are done by a company by Ralph S. Alberts. They're located in Pennsylvania, and they do all the foam composite molds for parks after the manufacturers. Yeah. Well, people literally bite the harnesses. So we were talking about magnet holders and whatnot. So whenever they take off the stators and the magnets off there, that's what holds them.
Enough said.
Thank you.
No problem.
Raina,
Yes, ma'am.
just walk through the gift shop, right? Okay, cool. Thank you.
We'll let Tom know we're coming.
Go find out why we're late.
We were out on time.
I know we were. And I started the ride for them, so there should be no delays up there.
So park is open now, and we're heading to our last attraction, which is going to be Cobra's Curse. So we're going to go over there, check out the panel for a quick second, and then we're going to get a chance to ride. So when we do our ride, that is going to end our video. That's going to do it. We'll be done then. And then it's going to be a mad dash, 120 mile an hour on I-4 to get to Sesame Street. Because apparently at 11 a.m., Sesame Street at SeaWorld Orlando is going to be holding a past member preview today and tomorrow. And we're going to try to get there as soon as we can. And yes, we will be doing a live video from there as well. So if you're interested, we got you covered over there a little bit later, hopefully. Hey. So coming up to Cobra's Curse right now. Almost there. And here we are. Entrance for Cobra's Curse. There you are. Entrance for Cobra. And we're going to be going through the gift shop area.
Fascinated by Cobra. Nope, they Cobra. Yeah, we'll see you maybe later.
And here we are. Loading platform. And now we're about to go into the panel.
Very tasty. Maybe let's go to the so they can see the piano.
Everybody in? Good morning, everybody. How was Cheetah Hunt? Everything good so far? Pretty nice. Yes. All right, excellent. Well, welcome to Cobra's Curse. Some of you might have met me in front of Cheetah Hunt. I'm Tom, the supervisor over here. So, one of the more unique features of the ride, as you might have noticed coming up, is the elevator lift that the trains go on once they leave the station. Now, Cobra's isn't the only coaster to have this feature, but as I understand it, we're the only one that has it and also has spinning trains. So that's
And they go backwards.
And they go backwards, yes. So that is kind of cool. Now, Cobra actually has two lifts. We have lift 1, which is the elevator lift behind us, and then further out on the course is lift 2. So if you guys want to see where the trains go, the cameras are, I don't really know what they were, what their goal was with the order, but yeah. So once the trains have been checked and secured, they go into what we call dark ride. That's the area directed below us on camera 1 on that monitor. So if we follow train 8 here as it leaves, you're going to notice it just suddenly pick up speed as it goes out. It might take a few seconds. From dark ride, it goes to what we call lift 1, the elevator lift. That'll be on this camera and this camera once it gets to the top. And I think yep, there it goes. So 8 just picked up speed in dark ride.
Just like Shikra has 10, 9, I don't know, sure. Cobra has 13 blocks.
Yep.
So we're one of the rides here in the park that has a lot of blocks.
Yep.
And the block is basically a train that only one train can occupy at one time.
Now, logistically speaking, we usually only run 5 or 6 trains at a time because what tends to happen is we get what's called station stops. We have the moving sidewalk here, get a guest where their harness isn't down all the way or they're having trouble. That causes trains to back up, and there just isn't enough room for all of them. So train 8 just left lift 1. It's going to come to the block break over here on this side. After block break is lift 2, which actually has 2 blocks in and of itself. There's one at the very top, and then one about halfway down. If we run more than 6 trains, what happens is a lot of them tend to stop at the very top of lift 2. It's not anything dangerous, of course. It's just kind of annoying if you're on the ride and you're constantly stopping up there.
Like he said, we do only run 6 or 5, but Cobra has a total of 9 trains in total.
Yes.
So we do have 9, but we don't always, we only can run with max, if we put all trains on, 8 in total in total.
And-
So we always have that 9 just in case one goes out for annual maintenance and all that stuff.
And they gotta really be on their game when we have, if we were to have 7 or 8, because, otherwise it would just be stopping all the time.
Is
Yes.
Andrew. I'll take over.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know what he was thinking about that, but so we can talk about the panel before we go back to that.
Okay.
Like I said, 13 blocks. So if you see the panel, you have this spaghetti looking thing on the screen. When it says
Well,
yellow,
generally, if
that means the
it's
train
up-
is there.
If one is
White
above
means
me
not
and
there.
there's one below,
So
then
that's
you're
how we
okay
know
with
where
the
the trains are
harness.
located at and all that stuff.
At the
Like
I've never
Cheetah
heard
panel will
before.
have blue buttons and that can say where the trains are at. Here we have the screen, of course. Also here,
If they
we
have
can
one
see
amputation
like,
above the knee,
trains
the
and
other
the lap
leg,
bars are
I
not
think
good
they
and the
go
lap bars
below
are
the
good
knee.
and not.
Yes, Sandra has a question for you.
For me?
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's a B&M question.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, Sandra. You're okay.
Also, we're one of the rides only that our panel op doesn't really do anything. They just do sit here. They look at the ride for safety to make emergencies.
Are you in?
They
Are
can
you at
e-stop and all that stuff. But our
Hey, let me
panel,
step out. I'll play for myself. Sorry.
our platinum platform is when we go to all the work. They check the lap bars down there. They open the lap bars down there and all that stuff. Panel has no control over the lap bars on the platform. They just can see who's good and who's not good, and that's why we have our headphones, because you can't really tell like who's down there, stuff like that. So that's why Cobra does have our headsets, because they tell them, hey, this lap bar is not good, this lap bar is good.
Okay, so, sorry, I got distracted by the phone.
You're right.
So did you tell them about how they send the trains out, or the tagging?
No.
Okay. So one of the more unique things, or different things about this ride is that, on most coasters, the trains are stopped in the station, they check the lap bars, push a button that tells the panel operator to send them out. What they're actually doing here is, they're also checking the lap bars, but each of the 2 ambassadors wearing the black jackets, they have what's called an RFI tag. So little yellow tile, kind of about this big. So once all the seats are checked, they touch it to the back of the train, and those 2 lights on the ceiling, the red and the green one, signify that everything's been checked, lap bars are down, train is good to go. If you have a guest who's, say, of a larger size, might not close all the way, the light will blink, letting them know something's wrong. And from the panel, we can see on this little grid here, if it's green, it's good. If it's gray, it's not good. Red means there's some sort of electrical issue with the ride that we have to take care of.
Yeah, give me the second since we gave it 4, okay? Alright, cool, thank you.
What's up?
Or actually,
Okay. Maybe Sandra can help them, or she's at work?
Sandra's at Monterey.
Oh, okay. All right.
Also, Cobra, you see platform non-stop. We also have 2 modes for Cobra. We have street mode, that means the conveyor belt is constant motion, does not stop unless the train is not tagged and stuff like that. Our other mode is stop and go. Basically, we have like 3 trains or 2 trains on, that's for very slow days. Basically how it comes, it's like a Shikra. This train will stop in the platform area, they will check all lap bars and stuff, and they will go to the little panels on the side of the walls and gate, and they'll put the RFI there and press the button. So we do have 2 different modes for this ride.
Yep. And also, because stop and go, honestly, I think maybe has only been used 2 or 3 times in actual guest loading service, other than like maintenance testing in the morning. We do have a way for if someone has a disability, they're unable to use the moving walkway, to get on the train safely. AJ, you want to ask Andy just to call an ADA?
Andy, can you call an ADA for me?
So we call it an ADA train, basically. It's a train that is specifically designated for a disabled guest, so that in the event we have to do an evacuation, we know there's a train out there with someone who might need extra assistance from first aid.
So he acknowledged the button, and it comes up to panel, and this is how we know there's going to be ADA out, and we're just going to tell him to do it. So we have to acknowledge it, and that's how we know we accepted an ADA train to go in that area.
Hopefully it'll be on this one. Yeah, see something very interesting. Or did it not work?
3 flash. 3 flash. 3 is not good right now. No, I didn't. Let's do it again. 3's good.
Okay, because they have the station stop, this might take a second.
Oh, you said it.
Oh, okay, there it goes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so the train will slide over to that little side platform, so now the guests don't have to worry about getting on while it's moving. Once he loads that train, we have the option of either sending it out as ADA, so it will automatically go back into that position. Or once the guest with a disability is off and it's clear to go back into normal mode, we can send it out as normal and it'll just keep going around the track in a circle.
And also, like, panel, we can tell what train it is. Panel will tell you, like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. The little square box will be blue, and that's how we know there's an 88 train out there also, too. So, like, yeah, so almost fine.
And you can spin out as normal.
Alright. Okay, so talked about the different parts of the ride, talked about number of trains, tagging, ADA. Does anybody have any questions related to this ride? Something you haven't seen before or want to know more about? How it works?
So just a little fun fact, all rides do have a green sheet. We call it green sheet this ride. So can't talk. The daily ride status report sheet, basically we have to have this in order to operate the ride. We need to have mechanic signatures, how many, like what ride it is, the date and the day. And without this, we cannot operate the rides. That's main important, like it will look like this, not operate, and of course, that's Any questions about Cobra, Cheetah?
How many people
This
in
is-
here want to ride?
This is Cobra's mascot. When we first opened the ride, a guest did leave this by accident, and it was like the first week we opened, and we just kept it. His name is Carl, so it's the way we like have it all together.
So you guys are going to have the opportunity to ride Cobra. If you guys, can they leave their stuff? Or do you want to leave their stuff
Well,
down there?
with this ride, anything that's like not like a solid like camera or cell phone, you can take with you as long as it's in a bag or in your pocket. Otherwise, we do have these lockers right here on the side if you want to leave something behind. Yeah. So like your camera, I mean, we can probably just leave up here for a second. It's kind of big and yeah.
So if you guys want to head down, we got all ride Cobra, unless you guys want to have any questions. No? Cool.
Pleasure meeting everybody.
Let's head down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, guys. So that is going to do it for our live Coaster Insider Tour here from Busch Gardens, Tampa. Like we said, as soon as we get a chance to ride Cobra, that is going to do it for the video. So again, thank you for joining us. Those of you that have been here from the very beginning, awesome stuff. So we're going to go catch a ride on Cobra and then head over to SeaWorld Orlando for Sesame Street. So we will see you out on the Midway, guys, a little bit later. Bye.